Hello, friends. Most welcome to Hortus Botanica. Yes, your dream classroom of botany. Myself, your botany mentor, Dr. Mukesh Kumar. So, continue morphology of flowering plants, and today we are going to study the stem. Stem, you know, this is the vegetative part of the plant. Okay, so what we have to study in a stem? See, yes, character and function of a stem we will study in this lecture. Fine. Now, you know about the Hortus Botanica. Yes, now India's top botany, your YouTube channel. Yes, this is the morphology synapses, and this is all about the stem. What we have to study about stem. Yeah, see, first we have to study stem, its characteristics and function of a stem. Today we will study this thing. In next lecture we will study about bud and branching, next type of a stem, its position and on the basis of its nature, and then modification of stem. And last but not least we will study about, yes, all the mnemonics to learn NCERT examples as well as their types. So next, yes, what is a stem? Remember what we studied about the root. We can easily correlate both the root as well as stem with the comparative study. Just recall, this is a seed, and what happened, this germinating seed will show you this very structure. This is called radicle. We studied in the last class that give rise to root, and you know this is the right position and its plumule, and this plumule will give rise to stem. Okay, so it will bear a stem and further shoot system. See how we have this dicot stem, dicot sheet 1 and 2. Okay, two cotyledon are present in this sheet. We are finding this is radicle that will form your root system, what we got, and this is the plumule, and this plumule will first be a stem, and on a stem there will be, yes, branches, leaf, flower and fruits, and finally constitute complete shoot system, isn't it? So what is a stem, right? So collect the very characteristics point with respect to root. Again, remember we studied that root was underground, but it is above. So you can say it is in general aerial. Okay, root was not green, but yes, stem is, yes, usually it is green. You all know, remember, it was the embryonic axis, and from that embryonic axis, this root stem means their source of origin plumule are, yes, ascending upward. Remember, in root we studied it was a descending part, but here you can say, yes, it is the ascending part of embryonic axis. Ascending part of embryonic axis, isn't it? Now, so where it will move? Yes, it will move towards light, and moves towards light mean to say it will, yeah, there will be sunlight of course, and moving towards the sunlight means to say it is positive phototropic, fine, phototropic, and negative hydro or zeotropic, isn't it? So from where it arises, yes, we just studied that arises from plumule. So source of origin, yes, plumule it is. And what it will bears, very important and interesting, it bears branches, leaf, right, flowers and fruits. Very interesting. I have written repeatedly so that you can easily recall how many points we have to study. Yes, first aerial, second green, third ascending part of the embryonic axis, fourth one is arise from plumule, fifth one movement towards light, that is positive phototropic and negative zeo and hydrotropic, and 6.8 stem bears, yes, branches, leaves, flower, and after fertilization there will be fruit formation. So these are the important four structure present on this shoot, isn't it? So this is all about what is a stem. So it is clear, stem is, yes, green, real ascending part of embryonic axis, originate from plumule, move towards light, that is positive phototropic, or negative zeo and hydrotropic. It bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits, isn't it? So this is very interesting stem. Okay, and there are important 6 characters that is involved in its definition as well as its character too, right? Now see, characteristics of a stem. Yes, how will you will recognize a stem from root, isn't it? See, definition, from definition we just studied 6 points. Yes, aerial, remember, green, ascending part of embryonic axis, arises from plumule, moves towards light, that is positive phototropic and negative zeotropic and hydrotropic, and it bears what? Branches, leaf, flowers and fruits. Very interesting. Now see, how will you recognize, how will you identify if a root is given to you, okay, taken from underground structure, and a stem is given to you taken from again underground structure, isn't it? Then you will get confused that either the structure A or a structure B which is underground, okay, what it will be, either root or a stem. Don't worry, you have to just recall either there is nibble or not. N-I-B-L, nibble. What the nibble means? See, nibble. See, we have this very structure. This is the, say, if it is stem. So this stem have this very structure. What you are finding? This is node. Fine. It is also node. So we have 2 nodes. So in between node we have this very structure, and this structure is called internode. Internode. Mind well. Question will come that if you have one internode, means to say how many nodes will be there? Exactly one more. It will be 2. So question will come, if you have 100 nodes, how many internodes will be there? Yes, of course, it will be 99. If you have been given 105 nodes, how many internodes will be there? Again, it will be 104 internodes will be there. So such types of the question may come in your forthcoming examination. Now see, so first we have node. In between 2 nodes we have a node, internode. Fine. See, we have this node, and this node will bear this very embryonic structure, and this is called bud. Fine. This bud may develop in the form of leaf also. Okay, it might be possible that leaf will modify in the form of flower and further fruit too after fertilization. So what we have? Yes, we have important 4 characteristics, feature by which you can identify an underground or aerial part of the plant, either it is a stem or root. See, if you have A and you are finding that A has this very part, nibble, node, internode, bud and leaves are there, you can easily recognize them. Yes, it is nothing rather only a stem because nibble is present. But you are finding B specimen is there where nibble is not present. There is no node, internode, bud and leaves. Then just identify this various specimen as root. So you can easily identify that a given structure from the underground condition will be either stem or root. Just recall about the nibble, node, internode, buds and leaf, isn't it? Now what will be a node? You can, given the defined node, you have find here a particular interval, you are getting this structure and this is node from where this leaf is also arising. So you can define node as region present at regular interval that bears leaf, or region where leaves born are node, isn't it? Now, have you seen stem? Yes, it's very common. You have seen initially what happened when initially it arises, it develops, it is green because of its primary growth. Initially it is green, but whenever if a dicot plant is there, then that plant will go under secondary growth, and after the secondary growth so many protective structure will develop that will turn this green structure in its older age as dark brown structure. Yes, so the color of stem initially in young stage with primary growth, you can say it is green, but with secondary growth it will turn dark brown. Okay, and it reflects that it has passes through, yes, secondary growth. Okay, this is also very characteristic feature of dicot plant, secondary growth. Okay, now talk about the origin. Remember, we studied in root. Root origin was, remember, it was endogenous, but here you are finding the lateral branches, okay, or a stem. These are exogenous, means to say that will arise, okay, outside the endodermis. Have you seen this structure? Yes, recall. See, this is the endodermis and it is the pericycle. Root was arising from this pericycle. That's why root was endogenous, and you will find the stem will arise, okay, how outside that endodermis, so it will be exogenous in origin. Fine. Now see, vascular position means position of xylem and phloem. Yes, it is endarch. Endarch, recall, protoxylem will present towards the center, that is towards the pith. Okay, and since protoxylem is towards the center, just unlike the root, so it is not centripetal, rather it is centrifugal. Let's see in its diagram. See, you are finding this protoxylem present towards center, right? And the center, in center its reference point is pith. So this protoxylem lies towards the pith, while this metaxylem is, yes, it is outside of this very center. That's why it is called as centrifugal arrangement, and protoxylem inside, metaxylem outside, just unlike to the stem. So it is not exarch, rather it is only endarch. So what we have, the anatomical description of a stem, yes, the vascular arrangement will be first centrifugal, means to say protoxylem present towards the center or pith, and that reflects that position will be endarch as well as exogenous, isn't it? So this is very characteristic features of vascular tissues in a stem, that it will execute exarch condition as well as centrifugal condition. Okay, now see the next point, sixth one. What happened? The outermost layer of this root was epiblema, but here we have, see, epidermis, and from that epidermis the appendages will be there, and that is called stem hairs. And this stem hairs is not unicellular, unlike root hairs. Remember, root hairs was, what happened? All the root hairs are unicellular, but here we are finding multicellular and long-lived structure. This stem hairs we have. Have a look. See, this is the epidermal hairs, and it is called beta stem hairs. Fine. This is the structure. You are finding this is the, if you have this various structure, this is called epiblema, and this structure is, yes, it is stem hairs, more than one cells are there, and this is called stem hairs. multicellular structure, and the outermost layer, see, this is the outermost layer and it is called epidermis, isn't it? So this is very good. I think you have recognized all the terminology, all the structure by this visualization. No? Fine. So this we studied about the characteristics of a stem. Yes, we have total 7 characters and also 6 characters from our definition of the stem, isn't it? See. Next. Yes, it was the root, so that you can easily recognize. You are finding here metaxylem present towards the center. Okay, but in a stem it was outside, so it was centrifugal. Here it is centripetal. See, it is a centripetal. Okay, protoxylem present outside, that's why it is exarch. Arising from pericycle, that's why it was endogenous. So this is a comparative anatomical description between root and stem, right? See, it is the epidermal layer. Specifically, it's called epiblema. You can say it's epidermis also, but it will bears only unicellular root hairs. But recall, the stem hairs were multicellular, right? And long-lived. Here, root hairs are unicellular and short-lived structure. This is the only structure present on the zone of maturation and helps in the absorption of water, right? Good. Now see, what should be the function of a stem? Yeah, first it will bears leaf, flower, fruits, okay, and spread the branch. Let's have a look and try to understand what happened exactly. We have this various structure. Fine, these are the nodes. That depends upon the requirement of the plant, what the plant needs. Means to say it is node, in between this we have internode. So first of all, we have this bud. Okay, we have this bud, and this bud will either develop in the form of, yes, leaf, so it will be called as foliar bud. Might be possible it will not bear leaf, rather already leaf is present and it is going to form a very important hormone, that is called florigen, and it will transfer to the bud. So now this bud will not grow as a leaf, rather it will grow as a flower. So this bud is going to form, yes, colorful structure, flower. So thus this bud is called as foliar, floral bud, right? So first what we had, write down neat and clean. See, first we had, I am writing again, from leaf it was foliar, very clear, foliar bud. But now flower, so called floral bud, very clear. Now might be possible that we need not leaf, not flower, rather we need a branch, so it will appear as what happened, might be possible it will develop in the form of branch. And again, if branch will develop, then there will be so many again nodes and internodes will be there. Again the node will do the same thing, either flower or leaf or again further branch. So these all things are very well regulated by the important structure of the plant, that is called SAM, shoot, apex, meristem. So it is the engineer or God or mother cell that decides what is the requirement of the plant, isn't it? So this is very important. We have understand that how this stem will bear leaves, flowers, fruits to spread branches. Now remember what happened. We have already studied that in root we absorb water and mineral. Remember, water and mineral was absorbed by the root. But again we need to supply this water and minerals to whole part of the plant. So what happened? This stem will get this work done. Okay, so by the upward movement, what happened? The stem will access all these water and minerals to whole part of the plant. Simultaneously, what happen in the crown? Maximum leaves are there. They will execute photosynthesis. Glucose will form. That glucose is called photosynthesis. It's a food. So that manufactured food, which is easily found in the green part of the plant, that is leaf, will also transport from shoot. Yes, that food or photosynthetic products will move from shoot to root, as well as other shoot also where the food requires. So what we conclude here, that conduction of water and mineral salts from root to shoot, what we discussed in the first part. Second, manufactured food, that is photosynthesis in leaf, is transported to root, means to say from shoot to root, as well as other shoot system where where the photosynthetic is required, and it may be flower, fruits again, or other part. And apart of that, some special structure function is also executed by stem, and this is called as, you can say, modification. So recall, the cause of modification in stem, it may be, yes, food storage. Remember, as we studied also in root also modified due to food storage. Here also we have underground stems are there. They will execute their modification through food storage. Second, we have, yes, support, and it's called mechanical support. Stem will provide mechanical support to the plant and protection. It might be seen that a stem is going to form thorn, spines, prickles. These are the very defensive structure that defends from the browsing animals, as well as it reduces the water loss. So this is also very important modification we will study. And the last, vegetative propagation. You all know vegetative means to say, yes, root, stem and leaf. These are the vegetative parts, and here the stem is going to give rise to the new plant. So if you are getting a new plant from a stem, this is called propagation of a new plant from the vegetative part, that is here stem. So it's called vegetative propagation. So this is all about the function of a stem. 4 functions we have, along with this special function, that is modification, isn't it? Now, yes, now the time to scan your brain. Just analyze yourself through these important and newly created questions under Hortus Botanica. Yes, we have these 4 questions. Just I am giving you this first question. First question, you have to find out the possible number of nodes, minimum birds, minimum leaves on a stem having, yes, 10 internodes. Very interesting question. You have to write the answer of this question in the comment section. Fine. Second question, you have, find out the color of a stem during young and older stage respectively. Third question, select the odd one with respect to a special function of the stem. You have to find out odd one which is not applicable. And the fourth, vascular position of a stem is respectively. You have to find out either it is exert, endarch, or centripetal or centrifugal. We have just studied. But no, I will not tell you the answer. I will tell you the answer in the next lecture of the stem. So first do it. Write down in the comment section what should be your answer, and we will discuss later on. So that's all for today's first lecture of a stem. We studied today characteristics of a stem, function of a stem, and it's your brain scanner. Very good 4 questions for you. So yes, so this is the function, an anatomical description of root as a comparative study along with the stem, right? This is the characters of a stem, definition of a stem, and forthcoming topic. So thanks a lot. Meeting you in the next lecture, and I will tell you, please like, subscribe, give your comments, good suggestions, so that we can serve you better, and I want to find you a great doctor to serve our country. Thank you. Have a nice day.